we're going to talk about the guy with the bow and arrow and his protege. After sitting on this, I can finally give my thoughts. So Hawkeye was the 5th TV show of the MCU Disney Plus shows for Disney Plus, sharing continuity with the films and based on the character of Hawkeye of the comic books. This stars Jeremy Renner, Hailee Steinfeld, Linda Cardellini, Florence Pugh, Vera Farmiga, Aleks Cox, and Vincent D'Onofrio in the surprise returning role. 1 year after the events of Avengers Endgame, Clint must partner up with Kate Bishop to confront enemies from his past as the Ronin in order to get back to his family in time for Christmas. While they also have to deal with a certain someone from Natasha's life and of course the Echo and her little clan, all during the course of the Christmas season. Now when it comes to Hawkeye, this was a show when I first heard of it they were going to do in 2019, I became very excited for it. Jeremy Renner was finally going to get his due after movie appearances as the character, and I was really interested to see where they were going to go. Then they were going to have the character Kate Bishop, which made me even more fascinated and more interested with the idea. So they started filming during the whole pandemic type situation. And when it came to the casting of Hailee Steinfeld, that's actually a very good casting choice. But at the same time, going into this with the marketing, I was not very thrilled with the trailers. I wasn't really a fan of Kate Bishop in the trailers. I was very apprehensive on her, and I was a little skeptical she was going to take the show from Hawkeye. This will easily become the Kate Bishop hour. I can simply say, having seen this show, this is a show, at the end of the day, I do overall enjoy. This is not my favorite MCU plus Disney Plus show. I don't think it's as great as Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I don't think it's better than WandaVision by any means necessary. There's a lot of things I enjoy about this, and there's a lot of things in the show that just frustrate me.
You better be joking.
So I'm gonna be as vague about this as possible without getting into any specific spoilers. Run into the positives of Hawkeye, and easily the best thing I will say about this is Jeremy Renner is Clint Barton. He, once again, is very good in the role. He's been consistent in all of his MCU appearances, and he does a very good job here once again. Here, this series, you get to further explore this character's time as Ronin, as you first saw in Avengers Endgame. And you see, he's at a crucial point where he wants to make it home to his family. As always, it's Christmas because he is a family man. I like a lot of the directions they take that. I also see a compelling strength of character that exists hidden underneath a character who is very complex, who is imperfect. And he's not only that, he's having to learn to move on with his life. What happened with the death of his Avengers friend, Black Widow, in the second half of Avengers Endgame. He's also having to deal with that, but he's also having this other character that brings on an onslaught of problems, which we'll get to. He did a good job in the role as Clint Barton once again. I do like his role. Character returning player of Linda Cardellini once again. She plays Clint's wife, Laura. She was a former agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was spoiler. There are going to be a few spoilers here, but I think her performance, she gets more to do here. I definitely do enjoy what she brings to the role. I very much liked what she was bringing, and she brought a lot of creative fun to the performance as well. You got Vincent D'Onofrio as Fisk Kingpin. He, once again, he is a crime lord, and I'll just say he does have some connections with the Eleanor Bishop character. Very much like other new additions. I did like Tony Dalton as Jack DeQuince. He is the nephew of Amanda and also Eleanor's new fiance. And in the comics, he is a mentor, and I definitely like Tony Dalton in the role. You also have Fra Fee, a mercenary of the Tracksuit Mafia, which Echo is a part of, which I do like a lot of those aspects that you get with them. And Maya Lopez is Echo. For the second deaf character of the MCU, I will say she is a massive step up from Makari in Eternals. Not that I hated Makari in Eternals, I just didn't get a whole lot of characterization or development with her, but I did think the actress herself did fine. I know some people are having this problem where they're having more different ranges of diversity with disabled people, especially autistic people, which we'll be probably seeing future in something. And I do like Maya Lopez for the most part. She is the deaf commander of the Tracksuit Mafia. She doesn't say a whole lot, but I think she does a good job in what she is meant to bring to her character. Very much like Vera Farmiga as the mother of Kate Bishop, which we'll get into in the mixed aspect. I promise I will talk about it. I will talk about it. But Vera Farmiga, she is also very good here. I've always liked her ever since Orphan. She's the CEO of Bishop Security, and she plays Kate, Bishop's mom. She has some ties to Kingpin. A lot of the performances in here are also really good, and I don't really have a problem with Yelena here. She's no Scarlett Johansson, but I think Florence Pugh does a good enough job. And all you people who just who are bullying this girl for playing this character and being on the spectrum, grow the fuck up. Stop it. Stop it. I've said this multiple times. I'm gonna keep saying it until people get this into their head. We do continue with her what she's good at, and there's some funny moments with her and Kate Bishop I actually very much enjoyed. You could easily have a little movie with Kate Bishop and Yelena, and I would rewatch it. I still think Natalie Allan would have been a good fit, but I think Florence Pugh is a good enough actress that she carries the character on her shoulders. I also very much like the way we're going in a different route of the MCU. You get the MCU street side of things. We've done this before with stuff like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and we get to continue that MCU street style here. There's a lot of good street action, a lot of good street fights. The action scenes are well choreographed. You can see what's going on, even the hand-to-hand combat fights with Echo and Hawkeye, or Kate versus Yelena, or Kate versus Kingpin. All of that stuff I think is also very good. I do think it's very well done. And each of the episodes here, I will admit, for the first 3 episodes, I was not really enjoying the show all that much. I was frustrated with it. I had some issues when it comes to one of your main characters, and for the most part, it wasn't winning me over. But by the time we got to the last 4 episodes, I was very much into the show. I was very much liking a lot of the directions where they were going. The character of Eleanor Bishop and Maya Lopez and her crew, and the whole thing with Yelena thinking Hawkeye has something to do with the death of her sister, and how she has to learn to move on from that and realize what her sister chose to do of her own accord. You do get that. I do like what the direction is doing. I do like what they chose to go with the direction of the story, and having this set place in Christmas is actually a very interesting thing. Most of the comedy of the show, most of this comedy when it comes to Hawkeye and stuff, is actually very fun. I do like some of the comedy. If his heart is in the right place with the family aspect, him taking in Kate Bishop, which honestly, if you were going to do a Hawkeye show, this is kind of your way to go. And I will give credit for Marvel for taking the chance. Mainly that's what this phase has been about so far. We don't know who the big bad is going to be just yet, but I'm sure Fa Fee will tell us in due time who the next big bad of this new era of MCU going forward. Could it be Galactus? Could it be Kang? We don't know. We will find out soon enough. But you're getting the martial arts side, you're getting more of the cosmic side, you're getting the supernatural side with Moon Knight and Blade pretty soon. A bunch of different sides, the MCU multiverse and the MCU Spider-Man with Tom Holland and with future Miles Morales to come. So I do like a lot of that stuff. I think that stuff actually works very well in a lot of what you choose to go for. It's actually very interesting. Technical aspects from the editing to the score, all of that is very top notch. This is a $150 million budget. There is CG, but it's not that much CG. They use the good right amounts, and for the $150 million, the money is well spent. The money is well spent on screen. They have like Steve Rogers the musical and such, and the Christmas aesthetic definitely does fit for a show like this. And also it helps that you have Lucky the pizza dog here, which that is an adorable dog there.
Say what?
And I very much liked his presence as well. So definitely you appreciate, and I will admire the show for that. Now we're gonna go on to the mixed aspects, and really the only thing I'm mixed on when it comes to this is the character of Kate Bishop. This is gonna be a comment starter, but all I ask of you guys is please listen to me and please just hear me out when it comes to this. Just hear me out and let me just state my piece on Kate Bishop. All in all, I do like Hailee Steinfeld in the role of Kate Bishop. Hailee Steinfeld is a great singer and actress. This is her second Marvel character, coming from Gwen Stacy from the Spider-Verse movies, which I can't wait to see what they do else with her. And I do have a lot of respect and a lot of admiration and a lot of appreciation for Hailee Steinfeld. She is a great actress. With that being said, the character of Kate Bishop, I was very cautious, very negative, very question mark about her in the trailers. And for the first 3 episodes, like I said, I was not feeling this character. But there was the other 3 episodes where I started to grow on this character. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I am perfectly fine with a female version of Hawkeye. I am perfectly fine with it. I'm not gonna sit here and attack Hailee or anyone for this, because it's not what I do here. My main really issue with her, on one end, I do like some of Hailee's comedic timing. She does get the action scenes down to a T. I think she does have some great moments with Jeremy Renner. And it's just awesome to have Hailee Steinfeld in this type of role. I wouldn't have cast her myself, but you did what you wanted, and Marvel definitely did show why she was a pretty good choice for the most part. I can't say I love her just yet. There's a lot of things I do like about her here, as far as trying to worry about her mom, seeing what she has to make some decisions with her there, her relationship with Clint, her relationship with the pizza dog. And like I said, the moments with her and Yelena, I think, are also really funny. On the negative side, however, my God, this character, as far as the characterization goes, there is a lot of improvement that has to be done, because this is, oh my God, there are moments in here where her character is just straight up cocky, annoying, and a little bit irritating, and those 3 together does not make me enjoy Kate Bishop 100% through as much as I want to. And I understand I'm not going to love every single actor or actress in different types of roles. But my problem when it comes to Kate Bishop, this is a bit of a frustrating matter, because it comes off with most of her comedic jokes way too cocky and a little bit irritating, to the point where I almost just roll my eyes in frustration and almost feel like giving up completely. But I didn't. I was even pessimistic before her, even before the show premiered. But I still gave it a cautiously optimistic. I'm not ashamed in saying how I feel about this character. I'm wholeheartedly acknowledging that she is a flawed character. This is her introductory to the MCU. She has potential to be better, but I'm fully acknowledging her problems that I have with the cockiness, most of the overly attitude. Not everything is going to be in black and white with characters, and that's some of my favorite characters, like Miles Morales or Captain Marvel or Scarlet Witch or even Harry Potter to a certain degree. But I think there is some potential you could do for her, but the writing for her just half the time does not really work for me. And I did promise myself that I was not going to make this comparison, but I cannot help but make this unfair and kind of inevitable comparison. When you look at Hailee in Into the Spider-Verse and in stuff like Bumblebee and Pitch Perfect 2, those are all characters that she not only plays greatly to her strengths, but they feel more fleshed out, especially with Spider-Gwen and Into the Spider-Verse. While we don't know a lot about her, there's still enough development in Spider-Verse, the first movie, to where you like her and you easily buy her. And I'm excited to see more of that here when it comes to her as Gwen Stacy. Whereas with Kate Bishop, I just feel like they should have had a little bit more development with her. And also, it doesn't really change the fact that there are a lot of moments here where this character easily got on my nerves, in as far as some of the humor and certain decisions she makes goes. Now, there are some moments in the show where she's doing the right thing and most of her humor lands. But there's also a lot of points here where I was getting a lot of flashbacks to the Grandmaster. It was not as bad as the Grandmaster, but as I said, there's still a lot of characterization and a lot more character development that's needed in the future with this character. And that's easily one of the things I am going to start off with in my negatives, is even though this is a very well written show for the most part, there are quite a couple of moments where I feel like some of the comedy and some of the humor just doesn't really land for me. And I'm not sure if it's the way the actors are delivering it or if it's the way the director directed some of these actors to do it, but there are quite a couple of moments where I was just rolling my eyes anytime at some of this stuff. Nothing against her, she's a great actress. She is good for the most part in this character. So I can say I both like her and I hate her as this character. But I feel like the writing for Kate Bishop should have been a little bit more stronger than it was. I also say there are quite a few actors here that do get a little underutilized, like Kingpin and Brian R.C. James, and to some extent Vera Farmiga doesn't get a whole lot to do. She is prominent to the story, and you do get a little satisfying payoff when it comes to her finding out that she had run-ins when it comes to Kingpin. But it just gets to a point where it's like, okay, this is the obvious thing you could have done. It doesn't really give me a bit of a surprise factor. Like I said, there are some moments in this show where it does get a little stale, it gets a little boring, and it gets a little irritating in some of the comedic aspects and some of the slow parts. Now, some of the flashbacks with Echo and stuff are fine. You get since she is a new character. And there is a little bit too much subtitle. Since her character can't talk, and since she is a deaf character, I will give it the benefit of the doubt, because some people with the hearing impaired are like this. One of my big negatives here is I feel like, even though I did enjoy the finale, I do feel like you could have at least used one more episode of this. make it a 7-episode series instead of 6 episodes. And this is kind of a thing I am happy that Disney Plus is going to be listening to with their shows. Like with She-Hulk, we're going to be getting 10 episodes. Some characters like Moon Knight, it does feel more like they could be done as a movie rather than a show. This is kind of on that level. I feel like this could have easily been at least a 7-episode long series, or at least an hour-and-a-half film. That aside, that is just some of my issues with this. So all in all, Hawkeye, this is the weakest of the MCU Disney Plus shows for me. There was a lot of things I admire, like Renner and Hailee Steinfeld, and the performances and the action scenes and direction. And the editing, I think, is also very well done. I think the music is done. A lot of things in the show I do like, and I like the story arc that they go for. But there's also a lot of issues that I have when it comes to the show. When it comes to Kate Bishop and most of her writing, some of her comedic timing isn't that right. There's a lot of things I do see. If they do want to make a second season or something, I do feel like some of these things could easily be improved on. There's a lot of frustrations I do have with this. I do not hate this show. I can watch it. If I do want to rewatch it, I will do it. But it's just a lot of things here that does frustrate me to a certain extent, especially when it comes to the character Kate Bishop. Please, next time if we have to see Hailee in this character, please make her jokes more funny, make her character grow and improve on her. But all in all, I will say, if you have Disney Plus or you're a fan of the MCU shows and you want to see what Hawkeye is doing after Endgame, check this out. Just temper your expectations, because there is going to be some things that may or may not frustrate you. A lot of people are loving the show. I don't love the show. I don't hate it. I'm just in the middle. But I'm still going to walk away giving this a stream this thing on Disney Plus. So those are my thoughts on Hawkeye. What did you guys think of it in the comment section down below? On my social media list, Christian Boss down below. Did you like the show? Did you hate it? Or somewhere right in the middle? I will have reviews for Falcon and Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, and our updated thoughts on Thor Ragnarok coming before Love and Thunder, and as we get to that in She-Hulk in August. On my social media links, Christian Boss down below. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe button, and the notification bell so you won't miss any more videos like this, or any more MCU, DC, or whatever movie talk I do here. If you like to mention, my Cash App is down in the description box down below, as well as my new address if you want to send any fan mail. As always, join the Epictasticness, stay Epictastic, and you guys keep it cool.